Namaste beloveds, I'm ALANA FAIRCHILD. Today I wanted to talk to you about consecrating our karma. What inspired this was an experience that someone shared with me that they had with a person online reaching out to impersonate my account and try to ask for a donation for readings from me. Let me say at the outset, I don't do readings anymore, and anyone who's emailing you saying that they feel a deep connection with you and would you like a reading is not coming from me. So I just wanted to state that outright. Fortunately, after a couple of exchanges, this person who told me the story realized that it was not legitimate, and they just reported them and blocked them on social media. But it got me thinking about the people who don't realize that and maybe get caught up and end up sending money, and then maybe after the fact realize what has happened and feel terrible. I've been in situations in the past where somehow my bank account details ended up in a foreign country and some money was taken out of the bank account. It was returned to me from the bank, but at the time I remember feeling two things. Firstly, I felt kind of violated, and then I had to kind of work through that to a place where I felt compassion for that person, because that's a kind of parasitic way of being where you have to feed off other people's energy in order to meet what you think your needs are. So that is something that's very much deserving of compassion. But how do you get to that place? You know, sometimes even in situations like this that aren't terribly serious, it can still feel awful. So what about if you've gone through an experience where it's really deep and you feel that, you know, you want to restore your dignity after an experience of disrespect? So I wanted to offer a little healing process, and what really came to me was a blending of the goddess Lakshmi with the beautiful goddess Lilith. Lilith is such an expression of divine feminine embodiment. What does that mean? Well, essentially, it's the deep intelligence of the body that understands and only knows an honest way of being. It's always talking to us. Sometimes it talks in a language that we don't always readily understand. That language can come out in dreams. It can come out in different feelings at different times that don't always seem either to match what is happening in the physical world or perhaps disproportionate in intensity to what's happening in the physical world. And those are not reasons to render those feelings or those body communications as being illegitimate. It's just actually a sign that there is a deeper message or a deeper communication. And things like therapy and body work and journaling and spiritual practice can all help in terms of being able to tune in, find the space for reflection, and gain that access to our intuition that helps us begin to gently learn what the body is saying to us through our different experiences. And so this spiritual practice today is an offering to support that process. With Lilith and that deep feminine truth speaking, and sometimes that difficult truth of realizing that something's not right, or that you've been in a situation that has unleashed feelings within you that might relate to previous experiences, or even just this one that's just happened perhaps, and those feelings might be disrespect or feelings of rage or being taken advantage of, or that you were silly or stupid or you should have known better. And we can be so hard on ourselves when truth of the matter is, if these things didn't work, there wouldn't be so many people out there trying to impersonate accounts. And it's a pretty significant issue for a lot of creators and a lot of people that are on social media and genuinely are looking for soul illumination and healing. And it does, I have to say, it still breaks my heart to think that someone might be taken in by that, but happens to all of us at different times on the path. So please don't pathologize yourself or feel that it's bad if something like this has happened to you. We just chalk it up to experience, work through it, find our way to compassion, and eventually, you know, it makes a good dinner party conversation later on, where you'll probably find a whole bunch of people who've like, oh my gosh, I went through that too, or something like that. So Lilith is the truth. Lilith is the awareness when something really needs to be acknowledged as not being okay. And Lakshmi is the radiance. She is the light. She is the beauty and the dignity. And these are twin facets of the soul. I know that they may seem like the polarity of Lilith is kind of the dark moon, and Lakshmi is like the radiant full moon or the beautiful shining sun, but they're part of nature and you can't have one without the other. So sometimes when the soul is really wanting to grow and move through deep work, there can be these experiences that seem like the opposite of spiritual awakening. It's difficult, we're getting into all the mucky stuff and it's challenging to work through it. But I so encourage you to see this as being part of your sacred journey, to really claim it and say, that person's wounding did lead them to act in this way, and that actually has nothing to do with me. However, these were my experiences as a result of that encounter, that exchange. What can I do with this portion of what's happening for my own soul? And that's the part where you consecrate the karma instead of feeling ashamed or needing to blame someone else or feel hate or anger. I mean, sometimes that's part of the healing process. I don't like the idea of saying you shouldn't feel something, but it's an understanding that it's a process, not a destination. So if you're stuck in anger or you're stuck in bitterness or you're stuck in feeling shame or guilt, then there's another step to take, and that's the consecration process. So with Lakshmi, with all that holiness and that reminder of the innate light, beauty, dignity, divinity that is within us, we can hold that light and that space so we can see more clearly what the Lilith intelligence within the deep tissue wisdom of our body and our unconscious through dreams and meditations is wanting to communicate to us. And we can, in that light, connect to the beautiful wisdom that's within the heart that actually knows how to heal. It's confounding, how does our body know how to heal a broken bone? It's this amazing intelligence, and the conscious mind doesn't have to kind of take control of the situation. It just needs to provide the right circumstances, for example, maybe a cast or maybe some rest that allows for that innate healing intelligence to flow and unfold. So that's what this exercise is about. It's a bit of a big introduction. Anyway, let's move on. So what I would like to do is invite you to just take some space for yourself. So it might be just putting your phone onto silent so it doesn't ring in the midst of this, for example, and just having a moment to connect to your heart. Sometimes people ask me, how do I do that? The simplest way is to just stop, breathe, and reflect for a moment on what you feel grateful for. That might be anything from a person or a place that you love, for a beautiful experience that you might have had, perhaps seeing some adorable dog in the dog park recently, or a beautiful day, or just the gift of breath, being able to breathe in and out with this precious human body. Just feeling that connection to your heart, having that intention to connect to your heart space. And imagining, intending, feeling that you can follow the breath deep into the heart space. And you're actually stepping into an inner dimension of your being. It's always there. Always filled with wisdom and grace and deep spaciousness. And this inner being is the realm of the Lilith intelligence, the fierce, honest, real, truth-speaking place. That part of you, that inner knowing, that inner deep wisdom in the tissues. It might be speaking through your body, a place where there's tension or pain or shifting emotion. Or you may just feel that you just want to rest for a moment, away from all of the doing and the lists and the challenges, which are a legitimate part of life. However, resting in another valuable, important, integral part of life, which is being. Just taking a breath and feeling that deep presence, that Lilith wisdom within. And there may be a message for you about an area of your life that needs your attention. It may be general, it may be very specific. There may not be anything other than rest, and whatever your experience is in this moment is fine. Taking that breath. And I'll just invite you, if there is an experience that you've had that you feel at some level has robbed you of your sense of dignity or value or respect. Let's just take a moment to imagine that this deep inner Lilith space is like some beautiful cauldron, some cooking pot deep in your soul. And you can place into that container whatever that experience, that memory, that feeling or confusion, that encounter might have been. You can imagine, intend, feel, visualize, whatever works for you, that you can place that in that inner container, the Lilith pot we'll call it. And just feeling that as it is in that space, there is a kind of psychic digestion that happens, and you don't need to do anything except just allow. And if you're holding on and trying to kind of pull it back and make sense, just keep letting it go into that container. And you may like to psychically place this container deep in the belly, but it could be anywhere in your body or outside of your body, wherever feels right for you. And then just taking a moment and imagining, perceiving, feeling that there's a beautiful golden light deep in the center of your heart, which is where Lakshmi will emerge. And I'll share a little Lakshmi mantra with you now to help you make that connection to her, because she exists in your heart. She is your radiance, your appreciation and experience and feeling of beauty in the deep sense, in the spiritual sense, in the sense of meaning and healing and appreciation and joy. And she is the beautiful regal energy of the royal nature, the queen, the king, whatever feels right for you, the divine child, that energy in the heart that remembers you are a pure spirit, no matter what happens in the future or has happened in the past, no matter what the world may have to say about who you are or what others think you should or shouldn't have done. Oh, there is just this beautiful, pure, spiritual essence that is your nature, and it's there shining in your heart like a golden light. So on behalf of all souls that are connecting with this process now, I ask for our beautiful divine golden mother Lakshmi, manifesting in the form of beauty and grace, the generous giver of all things that are needed, abundance, healing, joy, beauty, in such a way that it promotes enlightenment. That's her beautiful magic, her mixture, her celestial combination. Material security, abundance, clarity, and spiritual awakening through that process. So let's have that moment of really feeling that golden light in the heart. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi. Om Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Mahalakshmi. Jai Ma Jai. Just feeling that sense of your golden light now beginning to move into that Lilith container, like it's dripping down from the heart or shining out from the heart, whatever works for your inner feeling of the energy flow. And it begins to connect with the Lilith container. So there is a beautiful, rich, dark blackness swirling with a luscious golden light. And you can be aware of things going on around you, even thoughts in your head, but you can come back to your breath at any moment and the awareness of this swirling of that light. And imagining, intending, perceiving that these energies become a beautiful dance of twin lights in the heart until it is like a luscious night sky, rich and black, dappled with shining stars, the perfect integration of dark and light in harmony. And the dark represents the deep wisdom, and the shining light, that beautiful compassion, remembering that you are divine beauty in a unique form, eccentric and messy and perfectly yourself. And just feeling that shining in the heart. And when you're ready, if you can, a feeling of spiritual friendship and kindness towards yourself. And the stronger that feeling can be, the easier it is to imagine it beginning to overflow and shine out to all beings. And the ones that need that the most are the ones who are most wounded. And here's the amazing thing: when you've had an experience like this, you have an opportunity to recognize a link, a karmic link between you and that person, that situation that transpired. And you can free yourself and offer a gift to that person by just having a sense of spiritual friendship. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. It's just a moment of connecting deep with the heart and allowing yourself to feel peace and release, as though your beautiful remembrance of your inner dignity floods back to you in a wave of beautiful Lakshmi light. And imagine any cords or connections to that past experience being able to dissolve and fall away at the perfect time, which might be right now. You may need a little bit more time to process, and that's fine too. But knowing at the right time, when you're ready, it's no longer a part of your nature, it's no longer part of your soul, it's no longer a part of your journey. And you're ready to move on with this sense of reconnection and reclaiming the fullness of that light within. And I ask for special blessings for the beloveds doing this process now. May the Divine Mother bless, seal, protect and guide the path, helping each heart find its authentic journey towards fruition, peace and happiness, for the spiritual benefit of all beings. So be it. So just take your time, beloved, to come back to the present moment. Maybe taking a breath, maybe moving your body a little bit, giving your scalp a bit of a rub is good when you've been doing spiritual work, moving your hands, shoulders, and just making sure you're fully grounded and back in this present moment where we need you and we need your light. I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Remember, being human is like full on and sometimes just so darn difficult, but there's a lot of beauty as well, and so much spiritual progress that can be made, and it's often being made at those times when we think everything's just going amok. So don't lose faith. Stay connected to your heart and remember to do the practices and connect with the sources of love that nourish you, and remind you that no matter how things seem at different stages on the path, if you haven't got to that place of love and compassion yet, then it's just not quite finished, and that's all good. We're all going to end up in that place of luminous radiance. So that's your divine birthright, your destiny, and what is within you truly. So much love. Namaste. Namaste, beautiful humans. I'm so happy to be able to share this content with you. If there's anything you'd really like to see a video on, please make a comment below so we can keep that in mind for future projects. And also, if you want to hit the bell button and the subscribe, you'll be notified of future videos that we create. So much love and gratitude for sharing this time together. May your path be truly blessed. Namaste.